Picture a logistics nightmare. A company suddenly receives a massive influx of new supplies, but nobody bothered to build a warehouse to hold it. The cargo piles up, disorganized, and completely useless. Right now, something very similar is happening in millions of offices. A 2026 survey shows professionals using AI save 7.5 hours per week, nearly a full workday. But panning to the right, we see the warehouse problem. 68% of those employees have no formal training on what to do with it. Without a plan, human nature kicks in. People take those extra 7.5 hours and use them to clear their email inbox a little faster. The tasks get done quicker, but the actual value of their work stays exactly the same. To capture the real value of those freed up hours, you need what logistics experts call the redeployment principle, taking newly available capacity and intentionally pointing it at a higher value target. Step 1 of redeploying this newly found time is measuring it. You cannot manage a resource if you don't know exactly how much of it you have. For the next 5 days, you need to run a strict audit. Every single time you hand a task off to an AI tool, write it down. You are tracking 3 specific things in a simple matrix: the task you outsourced, the specific tool you used to complete it, and how long that exact task used to take you to do manually. Do not guess these numbers at the end of the week. Write them down in the moment. When people estimate their time savings from memory, they routinely undercount their newly freed hours by half. Once you have a concrete number, step 2 is naming the target. Look for a specific high-value project or skill that you have historically pushed aside because your schedule was too packed to handle it. Take the exact number of hours you audited in step 1 and formally assign them to this new objective. If the audit revealed you save an hour and a half every Tuesday, block it out on your calendar specifically for that new high-value target. You will feel a strong instinct to use this new block of time to catch up on your existing backlog. Resist it. If you use AI capacity to clear a backlog, the backlog will simply grow back and your professional trajectory remains flat. Documenting the saved hours and physically pointing them at a new objective forces that abstract productivity gain to become a tangible, deployable strategic asset. Now that we've secured the hours, we need to look at what you're actually asking the software to do. Managing the volume of time is only half the equation. The real leverage comes from elevating the complexity of the work itself. This is step 3. Dedicate 1 solid hour of your redeployed weekly time exclusively to learning the advanced features of your AI tools. Remember that 68% of the workforce has 0 formal training in this area. Dedicating just 60 minutes a week to technical upskilling puts you ahead of the majority of your peers almost immediately. Step 4 puts that training into practice. You must shift your AI inputs away from simple drafting tasks like writing emails and start demanding complex cognitive analysis. The highest performing users treat these systems as cognitive partners. They use them for evaluating data, finding gaps in logic, and solving real problems that used to take years of senior-level experience to tackle. Instead of asking the system to write an email summarizing this situation, try handing it the raw data and asking, what are the 3 strongest arguments here, and which obvious angle am I missing? Your career value is no longer tied to how fast you can type out a first draft. It is tied entirely to your capacity for human judgment and your ability to point automated systems at the right targets. But as you delegate more complex thinking to a machine, you introduce a serious vulnerability. These systems hallucinate. They make logical leaps, and if you aren't careful, you will end up taking the blame for their mistakes. Step 5 is your non-negotiable safeguard. You must review every single piece of AI output before it leaves your desk, every time with no exceptions. Treating an AI response as a final, definitive answer is a massive professional liability. The individuals building long-term career equity use the software's output as a rough starting point and apply their own rigorous scrutiny before calling the job done. To make sure you actually catch those errors, you have to complete step 6. Pick 1 complex task every single week, shut the laptop, and do the work entirely without digital assistance. Think of this as judgment calibration. If you outsource all of your heavy lifting to a machine, your own analytical skills will start to atrophy. You need the deliberate friction of doing it yourself to keep your mind sharp enough to audit the software. True expertise in an automated world isn't about avoiding hard work entirely. It's about maintaining enough mental rigor to govern the machines doing the heavy lifting. Integrating these 6 steps builds a unified career framework that functions as both a strategic defense and a competitive offense. You are no longer taking extra manpower and using it to run the exact same daily patrol. You have built a governed system that converts idle capacity into high-value career reinvestment. Putting this framework into practice is the precise mechanism that turns a basic software utility into a defining strategic advantage. So start the audit right now. Pull up a blank document, look at the very first task an AI tool saved you time on today, and write it down. The time is already yours. It's up to you to deploy it.